Disclaimer: I write these tutorials for learning purposes only. I am not affiliated with any CFW nor homebrew group. I do not support piracy in any form. I supply the developers of all CFW/homebrew groups at the end of my videos. I take no responsibility for any damage that comes to your device by messing up these steps. I don't take any responsibility for your misdeeds, and I take no responsibility for any legal action that Nintendo or anyone else takes on you. Follow this video at your own risk, and do not pirate anything. Try to stay within the legal rights of Nintendo, and thank you. But for the rest of this, enjoy the video. Hello YouTube, this is Roy Rogers and welcome to CFW Made Easy. This is a tutorial for 3DS on getting CFW, and it's a very quick tutorial, and we're going to be going over how to install ReiNand as a CFW. There's also RX tools, but that's another good contender, but we're going to focus on ReiNand because it's the easiest and the safest CFW to use. So what is CFW and why would you want it? It allows you to run unsigned code better than the homebrew launcher can, and if you're not familiar with what the homebrew launcher is, it's essentially it's almost like an emulator that would allow you to run what the CFW can run in certain aspects, but it's a little slower because it's run through like an exploit in your 3DS. So you can back up your games, DLC, and etc. with CFW. So what that means is, say you lost your game cards, or you don't like carrying around 20 different games in like a little pouch in your backpack when you're taking your 3DS on like the road, and just essentially, and in theory, you could use it to pirate games, even though that's completely, I don't support that at all. And then you can experiment with different homebrew to make your 3DS a lot more customized, and this homebrew will be a lot easier than having to scan a QR code or open a game and open an exploit inside of the game. And then there are a ton of developers who work on CFW plugins and add-ons. Requirements: you're going to need a 3DS XL, a 2DS, an N3DS XL, a 3DS or a new 3DS. Yeah, any of these should work on this. But the key point is that it needs to be on firmware 9.0 to 9.2. If you're higher than that, say 10.3, there is downgrades, and I won't have a written tutorial on that, but I can post a written one, or I won't have a video tutorial on that because I don't really want to upgrade and then downgrade my 3DS again. You need a micro SD or an SD depending on your model. It needs to be 4 gigabytes plus. 2 gigabytes isn't enough to really back up your system NAND and do all the stuff that you need to do. You need a computer, Mac, Windows, etc. You need a card reader if there's not one built in that can read either a micro SD or an SD. And you'll need the files provided in the description, but I'm going to pause the video right here because I need to grab those materials myself. And I'm back, and as you can see, I've already put my SD card from my Nintendo 3DS XL into my computer, and and as you can see when I open it, it's just my Nintendo 3DS folder, pretty standard. It's got all my Nintendo 3DS numbered folders and my private folder that would be inside of it. And what we're going to do to start this off is we are going to want to copy this, and we're going to want to put it in our desktop. And you can put it really anywhere. It's just a lot simpler when it's in your desktop. So it's going to load. It's a little fast because I already had this on my desktop earlier when I was making kind of the write-up of this tutorial. So now that we have that, we're going to format it. So any files or alters that our 3DS might have made that we can't physically see in the files, we're going to clear those. So on a Windows computer, you could just click format after clicking on the SD. If it's on your like home screen, but you might have to go into like your management and go in there and find it and right click it and reformat it, but on Macs, you're going to want to you're going to type in disk utility, and you're just going to go over to your SD card, make sure it's the right one if you have multiple or your hard drive plugged in, and you want to click erase and put it in MS-DOS FAT. And then it's going to format, and once it's untitled unless you named it, and then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put your Nintendo 3DS back in it, but you want to just copy it. You don't want to get rid of this Nintendo 3DS in case you have like downloads and stuff that you don't want to lose. So then, while that's going, what you're going to want to do is, in my description I'm going to have these links, but this is for the ReiNand files, and this is for the DBS files, and you're going to want to click on each of them, and it's going to take you to Mega, and you might have to sign up for this. I'm not sure if you can just do it without a sign up, but it's free. It's super fast. You get 50 gigabytes of cloud storage for free per month, and as you'll see, a lot of CFW developers and websites where you can get like, I know that some websites that you get ROMs or homebrew off of, they use Mega because it's a really good cloud storage and easy to share. So once you sign up for that, you can just click download, and it'll say it's downloading to your PC or your Mac. And if you have to download the widget, it'll be up here on your Mac, and it'll show like it's downloading. But we're going to download that second link with the DVS files, and this one will be faster because it's a very small file. So then we're going to go back to our desktop where we're going to be working on all our files, and as you can see, it's 50% almost done. So on just because this one wasn't as long, I'll show the full download, but for the next, like when I'm putting in like the bigger files and doing other parts of the video, I'll speed it up so you don't have to listen to me talk the whole time. Alright, so this is by far the larger portion of the download. So, alright. And then, now that those are both downloaded, you can unzip them on Macs. It's as simple as just double clicking each of them. And on PC, you probably need WinRAR, which is a free program. You can get it easily just by Googling WinRAR. So, rundown of what's inside of these. So, I already set it up pretty much for you, so it's just really drag and drop. As you can see, this is the homebrew starter kit that other videos or guides might tell you about that you need. This plus this HBL.3DSX. These are for homebrew, and I'll tell you what those are as we use them. These boots the boots are what will help you get into your ReiNand CFW. Emulators 9 is what's going to help start up your Emunand, so you can download your CIAs and make alterations on your 3DS without bricking your system or breaking it or really that much of risk. So all this is for that. FBI is what's going to help you install CIAs so you can get your downloads and games and stuff. HBL is going to be able so you can download the homebrew launcher to your home screen once you get FBI running, so you don't have to do an exploit like I'm going to show you in the video. ReiNand, this isn't supposed to be there. That was from earlier. Let me just get rid of that so it doesn't accidentally get copied. And then ReiNand, this is just ReiNand stuff right here. ReiNand, ReiNand, and then these three are for homebrew. Alright, and then in this folder is just DBS files. These are gonna be two things you need to use. So for file management, what we're gonna want to do is we are going to want to open that SD card again, and you got your Nintendo 3DS folder right here, and you're gonna want to just go through this. There's really no alterations that need to be made. You just drag and drop it, and it's this will take about a minute. Should be faster. I don't really think it needs to take a minute. Alright, now that all of that is done, then you're just going to want to grab this DBS files folder. It says 2 because I have DBS files there from when I was starting it. You're going to click on that, and you're going to want to go to your Nintendo 3DS folder, and I don't know why it opens up every time, but you're going to want to go to your numbered files, click on it, go inside, and I already have this in here, but just to show you that I did it like that, I'm going to, oops, my bad, probably could have skipped that, but I'm going to put it back in the folder next to xstat, and then I'm going to replace it, but these were the same files, and then you're going to want to go back out, and then go to your other numbered file, click on it, and then you're going to want to put your DBS file in there as well next to xstat and title. Alright, now that all that is done, we can work on actually implementing this into our own ReiNand, or our own CFW setup. So I'm going to pause the video, grab my 3DS, put it in the 3DS, as you should too, and we're going to start this up. Alright, so I'm back, and I put my SD card back into my new 3DS XL, and I'm going to power it on as I normally would. Then you're going to see it turn on normal, and I'm going to go to my system settings. So this is I'm doing this for 2 reasons. This is for one, to show you that I am on 9.2.0-20U, but also we're going to go to data management, software, and we're gonna, on yours it will say that you need to reset your titles. I've already done this because I've tried recording this like one time as a run through, and so what this is going to do is it's going to reset all your system titles and stuff, like, so if you have games from the eShop, it's going to kind of delete them off your memory, but this is fine because you backed up your new 3DS folder, so you'll keep all your progress from your title settings. So after it resets, you just want to power off your 3DS by holding the power button. Then you're going to want to turn it on once more, and this time what we're going to do, as soon as it turns on, we're going to click L and R so we can launch our camera. And while this is launching on our browser, we're going to want to search browser hacks up here and search for it. And it's going to be the first one by YLS8, also known as Yellows 8. And on here you're going to find a QR code. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get your 3DS and click this little QR button down here, and then it's going to pop up like a little window showing that it's searching for a QR code, and then you're going to want to scan it, and once you scan it, it'll say URL found by yellows8methiel.com browser hacks, and you're just going to want to click OK. It's going to say launch the internet browser, and it's going to take you to your internet where it's going to show the URL, but it's going to do this whole loading phase where it's going to turn yellow, gray, orange, and then it's going to like turn a bunch of colors, and then go to this menu. We want to click homebrew menu, not ReiNand, because we're not ready for that yet. And you want to go down to menu hacks. Once you're in menu hacks, just click install, and then once it says installed and press A to exit, just click B, start. You're going to go down to more, and you just want to click power off. And depending if, see, mine froze right here, but so I'm just going to hard reset it, and if yours froze, you can just hard reset it also, which is just holding the power button until it turns off. And this is perfectly fine. A lot of the homebrew will glitch out and cause a hard reset necessary, so it's perfectly normal. So then once you turn, once it's off, you're gonna turn it on, and you're gonna hold L. I'm doing it. You can't see it because, or now you can, but it's gonna glow this kind of fuzzy TV screen, and do this whole loading process again. And then you're gonna click ReiNand, and if you've already tried doing this on a different tutorial and it just goes to a black screen, what you want to do is click Start and B, and you want to be holding B the whole time, and it's going to launch into your regular system because you don't have Emulators set up yet. Alright, now that you have it, what you want to do is you're going to click L and R again, and we're going to scan that QR code one more time. And this is just to get us back to the homebrew menu, which we need to do. We're going to click OK again. And this time we're going to download something that's going to make it really easy to launch into the homebrew menu. So once it does this whole loading, we're going to be in, click homebrew menu. Clicking ReiNand again will cause your system to freeze most likely. And you're going to go down to where it says FBI. Once FBI pops up, what you're going to want to do is where it says loading files, you want to go to fbi.cia and you want to reinstall that. I already have it installed, as you might have seen from the home menu when I was on it. And then you're going to want to click homebrew launcher loader.cia. And then I already have it again, so I'm going to click confirm to overwrite it. And then once you click that, you're going to power it off once more. Sorry guys, a lot of powering off with manually. This part won't even be the part that frustrates you, it's going to be the next part. Alright, so now that it's back on, I'm going to hold the L button, or that I'm turning it back on, hold L button again, launch into this fuzzy screen. Sorry for my room light in the background. We're going to click ReiNand and click Start to Boot. Hold B if you couldn't get it to launch before. And as you can see, I didn't click B on time, so I'm going to shut mine off. Probably cut this part. If not, it's because it didn't take too long to do. Come on. Alright. I'm going to click L again because I messed it up. It's going to do that loading again. And it froze, great. Yeah, so this is just good so you know that these issues won't be the culprit of you, like, they're not like an issue that is uncorrectable or it's a brick or something, so you don't have to freak out. It's just easy to power off. You click L again, and you'll get a lot of, with homebrew and CFW applications, you'll get a lot of these things where you gotta power it off manually. As you can see, it worked that time. Now we're gonna click ReiNand, and I'm gonna be holding B, click Start. And now finally it allowed me to launch back into it. And then now you're going to see on yours, it's going to show you got two packaged gifts, and you're going to unwrap it. One's going to be the homebrew launcher, the other one's going to be FBI. And we're going to want to click on homebrew launcher, and what this is going to do is, and then sometimes this will actually crash on you and say click start to return to the home menu, and you'll have to open it again. And then we're going to want to click on homebrew menu. Then we're going to want to go to Emulators 9, and we're going to open this up. This takes a little bit, it might lag a little and take a little setup. Mine started right away because I've done this before. And we're going to want to go to Emulators Manager Options. And then you're going to want to clone your, or dump your system NAND or sysnand to nand.bin. You're going to click on that. And this takes a while. So I'm probably just going to prop up my phone on something and then speed through this video, or through this part, because this part is very long and it's super freaking annoying. As you can see, I barely got to 1%. So yeah. Alright, so I actually ended up cropping it because it would have been way too long even at high frames, because if you've noticed, this has been taking for you probably 10 minutes, right? Especially if you had a bunch of files. So we're coming at the 3% mark. Alright, 1% left, and it's probably going to prompt us to click start or B. We're going to click B. We do not want to reboot, so we're going to click B. And then we're going to want to click select to unmount our SD card. And unmounting, we're going to take out the SD card and we're going to put it back in our computer. You do not want to click B after. I've never done it. I don't want to try it. Just don't click B before you put your SD card back when we're done. So I'm going to cut it here and we're going to go put it in. Alright, and now I put my SD card back into my computer, and all we're going to do is we're going to want to create a new folder, and we're just going to want to call it CFW backed up. And what you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to copy everything that was in here and paste it here. And then I'm going to cut this because it really does not matter. All we're doing is pasting it, and we're going to put it back in our 3DS. So I'm going to cut it right here, and then I'll see you back on recording 3DS. Now that you've backed up your folder and you put your SD card back in your 3DS, you can click B or press B, and it'll take you back to the main menu, or take you back to the Emulators manager options. You can click B again to go back to the main menu. You want to go to complete Emulators setup. Then you're going to want to click down, up, left, right, and A. And then you're going to press A to format. And this also is going to take a long time, so I'm going to cut it as soon as it shows that it started loading, and resume it once again when I'm 5% till being there. So it should start up any second. Alright, now it started, and as soon as it hits 3%, I'm going to pause it and then cut out the middle, and then come back when it's at 5%. Alright, so I'm back at about the 5% mark, and you probably noticed that this one wasn't as long as dumping the NAND. So once this gets to 100, once again, we're going to have to take it out, and we're going to have to put it back, or our SD back in the computer. So it's at 100, and we're not going to click start or anything. We're going to hold the power button to turn it off. And the cool thing about backing up the files that I forgot to mention earlier, it allows you to, anytime you want an SD card made, like you get a new SD card and you ran out of space on your other one, all you have to do is, sorry, actually I turned it on. All you have to do is drag those files into your SD card, go back to the homebrew, and you'll already have the launcher downloaded on your SD card or on your DS. So you can just go to the Emulators tool again, click complete setup, and then you just have to go back to your computer and repeat the step that I'm going to show you real quick. So, alright, so I'm going to go to the computer so we can do the last of the file managing before we can actually be in CFW. Alright, now that we're back at the computer, you'll see that our SD card, it no longer is Untitled or whatever you named it, it's Emulators 9 SD. So now that we have this, we'll open it up and we'll see that it only has two files, the Emulators 9 and the boot.3dsx. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our CFW backed up folder. We're going to copy everything except for the Emuland 9 tool, because that contains our NAND that we dumped. And what that is so if you ever do brick your 3DS, like doing something with like completely shady pirated ROMs, or like homebrew that no that's like barely been discovered and it's in beta testing and you wanted to test it, um, what it does is you can back up your NAND using something called a hard mod later, so you can unbrick your 3DS. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drag everything except for it, and we are gonna replace that boot.3dsx, because that would only help work for if we didn't add any more files. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click replace on that, and then this should be pretty quick because it is only uh, it'll be about a minute. So we'll see if I cut this out or not. Alright, and now that that's all done, we're just gonna eject our SD card for what is probably the last time, unless you're gonna go add some .cia ROMs and stuff that you already have downloaded. So I'm gonna see you back on putting it into the 3DS. So what you see from here on out is me putting it back in the 3DS and opening up the ReiNand like we've been doing. So meet me back on the 3DS. Alright, so now we're back to the 3DS, and we're going to start it back by holding L like we've been doing. And this time, if you were someone who was having the black screen always come on when they were trying to go into ReiNand, since you have the Emuland, you no longer have to do that. It'll just boot like it normally should. And as you can see, now it boots correctly back into it. We can use our FBI and all that. And if we go to our settings, system settings, you will see that we are now in Rei 9.2.0-20U. And so with this, any CIAs you get, you'll be able to play online even though you're on 9.2.0-20U and you probably weren't able to play online multiplayer before. But you'll notice that some games, even in .cia format, even though they're created for CFW, like say you're trying to play your backed up Triforce Heroes or Monster Hunter X, if you have that and stuff, it'll say that you need to actually update your 3DS to actually be able to play that. So, so since you're not updated, you can't play those, or they'll load into an everlasting 3DS logo when you click on them. So in my next video, and the link should already be in the description, it's going to show you how to update your Emuland, which is this Rei part, because our system is on just regular 9.2.0-20U, and our ReiNand is on 9.2.0-20U on Rei. I'm going to show you how to update it to 10.5.0, and you'll still have your system settings on that. And then also I'm going to show you a quick little guide on, say you want to have themes, because Menu Hacks currently does not allow you to have themes. So that's going to be a double video showing you how to use themes and launch into your homebrew or your CFW, and how to update your CFW. Thanks, guys. Before we go, guys, I just want to give credit for the CFW. Smealim, thank you for the homebrew launcher. Ray Sukaku, thank you for the ReiNand CFW itself. Steve Ice, thank you for the FBI, which is the CIA injector, which you can use to upload ROMs into your 3DS. Thank you for Yellows8 for the browser hacks, menu hacks, and HBL.CIA. I'm pretty sure you created the browser hacks exploit. And anyone else I forgot, I'm sorry. Message me if you want credit on something that you actually created. Don't just spoof message me, guys. Um, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and stay tuned for more. Thanks, guys.